Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Libra. If Libra is your solar, lunar, ascendant/rising sign, then this is a message for you. Okay, let's get started. Okay, and so our card tonight is the Prince of Wands. And we'll see what these tea leaves have to say. And if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. I keep feeling like I'm going to cough. Cough or sneeze. I'm trying to stop myself. Okay. And so, that Prince of Wands energy, I feel like when I see it, I'm like, oh, there's a lot of that creative energy, those fiery creative energies. A sense of sensuality, lustiness, maybe kind of a feeling very much in your own body and sensations and relationships with others and this can also be at sometimes not that you are, but maybe somebody involved, this real solar energy. There can almost be a callousness or arrogance at times, or just maybe kind of a youthfulness to it where there haven't been these kinds of ordeals and educations and the nuances of how we kind of interact with other people, right? And so I look at this and I'm seeing we have a bowl right here. You can see the head and the body, okay? And so I almost wonder if there's a Taurus person, and that would totally make sense to me. I love Taurus people, I do. But I do, I get this energy really, it feels like maybe somebody coming into your life, or this is somebody who has been in your life, but there has been a movement towards something a little more romantic, or at least kind of an attraction, okay? And I feel like they really are maybe kind of more overt about it than you are used to, or maybe your preference of kind of courtship or flirtation, or even just kind of having a crush or whatever. And I feel like they are kind of really pursuing you in some way. It doesn't have to be super directly, but maybe even just paying more attention to you. They're like on your social media, they're liking everything you and it's like, okay, calm down, and so I feel like this is something that is really, there's a fieriness to it, and I wonder how are you taking this in? Do you like it? I mean, or is it something that's totally like a little bit too much for me? It's fun, but here, as I turn this, I did not notice this face before, but we have this really grumpy face. Look at that. The eyes, the nose, the kind of the grimace there. And so I also see down here another face. It looks kind of like forlorn, kind of more like just kind of getting through, just barely hanging on there. So I feel like, I don't know, maybe there has been a sense of kind of a little bit of melancholy, a little bit of being kind of cranky, you know. And maybe that's seasonal, maybe there are circumstances behind that, but I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, you know, where it is like appealing and maybe even kind of flattering or whatever, I kind of almost feel like it's also a bit annoying for you. It really just is like, especially if this is somebody that you have known, right? And they've decided now, okay, we're going to take this into this other zone. And, you know, it really kind of throws off the pre-dynamic of, you know, the shift. And it's like, okay, great. Well, so now how do we kind of undo this thing that, you know, is going on? Or just kind of cutting it off, you know? And so I see the kind of X mark there, and I feel like it's just, it's not what you are very interested in right now, okay? It's not the thing. So let's see. Let's see what else we have going on. Okay, so we have a person here who is kind of looking up. They also have a horse right here. And then we have a bird who is flying overhead. You know, and immediately what it makes me think of is, you know, when you're in the desert and getting close to really starting to break down physically, maybe you not have enough water or sustenance, and then the birds start falling overhead. And, you know, I feel like, as we know, the desert is a profound spiritual landscape. You know, it's applied often to these stories of spiritual path working. Okay, so I feel like there really is. It seems like a spiritual struggle in this time, but I almost think that maybe, and as I'm looking at it, I kind of feel like this could be that you haven't been feeling well. Maybe you've been sick. And in these times of feeling ill, and we can go back to that crankiness and just feeling, you know, kind of listless or forlorn or melancholy. And I think that all kind of ties in. But I think that going through this period of time, it feels like you are just so drained, you know, every last, you know, drop of your energy levels has gone. And then, of course, when we're sick, especially if you're very sick, and you are kind of laid up in bed or whatever, and you begin to ruminate on things, you know, and, you know, hopefully not, but it can happen. Or, you know, you just are in that kind of distorted place of feeling sick, and it really is quite a spiritual place to be. I had talked about that a few weeks ago when I was sick, or a couple weeks, last week, maybe it was, I can't remember. It feels like yesterday and so long ago. But, you know, I never feel as close to spirit as I do when I'm sick, because everything kind of really slows down and I'm with myself a lot, right? I'm in my own head a lot. And so, you know, I think that this could be the case, but I do feel like there's a sense of, you know, of struggle there. I feel like there is really kind of a sense of, you know, some amount of suffering. And, you know, I think that as we get through this period of time, things will look much different in the daylight, as they say. And, you know, it is hard, but it is also something, or a time when, you know, we have to be so protective of ourselves, and if, like, say you were getting, you're getting attention from somebody in your life, and it makes you uncomfortable, or it's annoying, and then it's on top of this not feeling good, or whatever else is going on, we have to put our foot down, those boundaries, right? And I think it's important to talk to those you love, the people that you trust, or the person you trust, or whoever your safe person is. Spend some time discussing or telling or sharing how you're feeling. It doesn't have to always be super in depth, but sometimes I think it is so helpful for us to verbalize, even if we're crying and sobbing and it's not very coherent, right? Or we're angry and, just feel like everything we're just dropping, one thing after another out of our hands. It's so frustrating. Sometimes we just need to verbalize how we're feeling. We just need to be able to say it to somebody. And in a way that, or in a place where we feel safe to be able to say, right? That we're not going to be judged, or it won't, it won't be kind of twisted differently. And so, I think that this is kind of an important reading, in that I feel like there really is this desire, and I keep looking at this up here, and it looks like a little ring. Okay. And so maybe you're married, maybe you're not, but I do feel like there is a sense of wanting to have a partnership of some kind. Okay. It doesn't have to be marriage exactly, but there is a sense of wanting to be able to coexist with somebody in a way that feels, given and received. On the same level, with the same energy. I also see we have a person here who's kind of lifting up, and there's a bird. So there's a sense of wanting the spirit to fly free as well. To unburden yourself, to live in that place of love, to be able to, your spirit to soar. And in these times, especially, if you really are feeling kind of under the weather, or, things are just kind of feeling like, what the heck is going on? I just can't get it together today, or this week, or this month, or whatever. And we're feeling quite grumpy. We have that grumpy person here. It's hard. It's difficult to pull ourselves out of that. But we must, right? We must. And so, let's see. I want to look a little bit more here. Okay. Yeah. So I keep looking at this. We have a cat's head. We have another cat. We had another cat over here, right here. Kind of sitting right here. You can see it. So I really also, when we have that kind of feline energy, it says to me that there really is a sense of great independence as well. And I think that this could maybe be part of when you don't feel good, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, there's a sense of just leave me alone. I want to do my own thing. And when I'm ready, I'll come around. Right. And I feel like this feeds into this idea of somebody who, really they get into they're coming in so close that it's out of your comfort zone. Right. And, maybe paying, and that's the thing that keeps coming to mind. They're paying so much attention to you that it almost is like, what are you doing? You know, like it's too much. It's too much. And I think that, you know, it activates that kind of feline feeling where it's like, you don't want, you know, unless you initiate, you don't want somebody trying to know you, to be like, this is what I always say. I don't like people acting too familiar with me. It's just, I don't know what it is. I've always been like that. And I think it's just, you know, I don't know what it is really, but it has, for me, it's like a slow burn. If it's going to be a real kind of, you know, union, it has to take a while. Like, even with my husband, when I met him, we took years to get to know each other before we even met, right? We met online. So I got to know him for like over 2 years. And, you know, I was like, no, we're taking our time. We're taking our time. Then we got married like right after we met, we had a kid and, you know, had like a secret thing and then got remarried. And yeah, so, you know, I think for those of us where it's like, we really, you know, we love, but we're okay being alone. Right? If somebody acts too familiar, if they try to, you know, get themselves in our lives too quickly or they're too pushy about it, it's like, no, all right, I don't like that. You know, it takes time for me and I feel like this is the energy. I feel familiar to this energy. You know, it takes time to let somebody into your sacred spaces, into your private life, you know, really to know you deeply. And so, you know, all this makes sense. It really does make sense to me. So now I'm looking at this and I don't want to move it too quickly, but we have a 2 and a 0. So 20, important number here. Okay, we have another person who is kind of in that kneeling position holding a cup this time. So we do have the emotional vessel there. Okay, and I think that this is really what that's about, is that you really are in this time in your life where you are unwilling to fold for somebody else's preference or their will or, oops, no, no buns on the video. But you're not willing to do that, right? You are like that, I'm trying to think. I was going to say cup maker. You're like the potter, right? You make, what is the word? I can't think of it. Sculptor, potter, I guess. Yeah. Making the cup, making the emotional vessel, that beautiful grail. And this is yours. This is yours. This is, you know, you fill this up. You choose what you're going to fill it with. You choose when you are going to drink of it. You choose where you are going to, you know, pour it into another cup or on the ground or, you know, in the flowers. But that's the point. You are so much in control of these sectors of your life where I think at times, not that you're necessarily a big pushover, but I feel that sometimes, especially, you know, and this is all of us are like this really in our youth, aren't we? You kind of just at times we go along to get along. And maybe that didn't always make you feel good, right? And maybe you had friendships with people you wouldn't have, or maybe relationships or whatever it is, right? And it's just, you are so far from being able to accept that anymore. Which, bravo, good for you. I'm happy to see this and feel this, and this empowerment. The thing about empowerment is we get this idea, or at least we talk about it as if it's always something that is profoundly fulfilling and a fun experience and something that, it just makes you feel good all day. Well, you know what? Sometimes it is wildly uncomfortable. Sometimes it is heartbreaking. Sometimes it is, it is crawling through the glass on your hands and knees, right? It is awful. But we have to do it. We must, because we have to stay true to ourselves, to our will, right? And that doesn't always make other people happy. That doesn't always make us happy. It's not about being happy. It's about staying the course, about knowing ourselves, knowing what we need. And often the things that we need are difficult to obtain. They are difficult to maintain. They are difficult to upkeep. But what else do we have in life? When we are always just bending to the whims of others, that's no life to live. When we're always, on this journey of superficial fulfillments, attachments, yeah, that's fun sometimes, but to live that way is soul killing. You're always just looking for something to make you feel something. And it is, it takes everything from you. So sometimes, yes, we have to do the hard thing. We have to do the uncomfortable thing. We have to be that, you think of like Kali, right? If you didn't know, you would think, oh, that's like a demon. That's scary. Well, that's a fully embodied being. That is the builder and the destroyer. Build and destroy. Build and destroy. And that's hard. It's a hard path to walk. But here we are. And this is the consciousness we're in. And it is the most blessed path. It is. Okay, so let's look. Speaking of, we have the Magdalena, right? Mary Magdalene. We have the Mary Magdalene Oracle cards by Megan Watterson, illustrations by Moonjube, and of course the archetype of Mary Magdalene. Very difficult to walk. Fully embodied being. Not making easy decisions. But, this is the work. This is the work. Okay, we're going to stop where it feels right. We're going to turn it over and we're going to see the sixth power. The body never lies. And so, I feel like this really is so in line with that. Not feeling what, but it is, in some ways, it is a blessing because it strips away all of the stuff. When you don't feel good, it just is what it is. You're not going to upkeep all of the pageantry, right? You don't want something, you don't want it. You're not going to have it. You don't feel like you're up to it. You're not up to it. It is that plain, and hopefully, when we do have the blessing, and I'm on it, it is a blessing because there's a remembering of that core part of self. Hopefully we take that with us as we come out of our ailments, out of our flare-ups, out of our, out of our times of great pain, right? And we remember, why do I live, jumping through all of these, the circus rings and stuff? I'm not doing that. I'm not doing it. I'm getting to the point of, if I don't want to do something, I'm not going to. I'm not going to pretend, all the time. A little bit, right? We have to do some things we don't want to, but that these are the lessons that we learn when we're when we're in that place. All right, Libra, I thank you so much for spending this time with me. It is always such an honor to be able to bring these messages to you. And if you would be so kind as to like the video, it really does help the channel so much. And it is free to subscribe. Oh no, that's the wrong part. If you haven't subscribed yet, please think about doing that. It is free to subscribe. And if you do, hit the little bell. It'll let you know when the next videos are coming out. There's also on the community page, there's like and I'll repost it so it's near the top. But there is a schedule of readings. So, other than that, if you want to leave a comment, please do. I really look forward to reading them, and I do read every single one, so you will not go unnoticed there. And what else? Yeah, I love you. Take care of yourself. We're in the middle of a blizzard here, so I'm gonna go get a blanket on and maybe read a book or something, go to bed. So with that, we'll say good night, goodbye, and I will talk to you in a few days. Thank you.